My fiancée just broke up with me. She decided to break up with me today because for the past month she hasn't been feeling like herself and felt she lost the spark. 4 days ago she wanted to break up, we talked, she backed out. 3 days ago, same story, this time we decided to spend 2 days together alone and talk, and she pinky promised I'd never have to deal with this again. Today, I got the most gut-wrenching, knife-throbbing in my chest, heart-pounding news. It was over, for good, no backing out. Just like that, lost the llama, after being reassured I'd not have to deal with anything like this again. She said she's not able to work on herself while we're together because she puts all her energy into me. I offered her numerous healthy ways to deal with this, including distancing for a while but still being a couple to make sure we wouldn't lose each other. That's when she said the most dreaded words I have heard come out her mouth. I'm not sure I want to go back to this when it's all over. I'm honestly planning to drink a whole whiskey bottle and get behind the wheel at this point. Help me cope in a healthy manner, please, I'm begging. I know she did me wrong by giving me false hope, and that I should not under any circumstance give her another chance. But fuck, I know that if she said she'd like to go back right now, not even a thought, I'm doing it. I think my married friend is crushing on my husband. Hey everyone, I need to get this off my chest. I have this friend from work who's 34, I'm 32. She's met my husband only a few times, and I've been at this job since last December. Out of the blue, she messaged me urgently on 2 social media platforms, asking me to come to her office. She said she needed my opinion on something, which surprised me because she's never involved me in her personal matters before. I was kind of excited, to be honest. When I got there, it turns out she wanted advice on what to gift my husband for his new job. Now, I was the one who told her he was starting a new position, but I had no idea people gave gifts for this kind of thing. To put this into context, her own husband just started a new job in another country last week, and she never even mentioned it to me until he had already left. I told her a gift wasn't necessary, but she was adamant. She said it was none of my business because the gift was for him, not me. This rubbed me the wrong way, and when I got home, I messaged her saying that if she was buying the gift because of our friendship, I didn't want it. But if she felt some deep connection with my husband, then by all means, she should go ahead. I admit, it was a passive-aggressive move. She blew up, saying she'd never accept any gift from me ever again. Additional context, she talks about my husband quite a bit and has even hinted that he's too good for me. She once invited us over for dinner and asked my husband if I cook as well as she does, which he later told me about. It felt really weird and uncomfortable. So now I'm left wondering what her motives are. Am I being paranoid, or is something off here? She has been married for 10 years and with 3 kids. This is crazy, it literally keeps me up at night. I told my wife I'm not a Christian anymore and now all I see from her is shame. I 26am and my wife 24f have been Christians either all or the majority of our lives. However, the way I've been feeling about my beliefs started due to past experiences and trauma. I met my wife at her church when we were both in high school. I was in a low point in my life and was looking for answers, and like most people in the South I decided to find it in a Southern Baptist church. The first time I saw my wife she sang in youth band, to which I thought she was the most beautiful person I had ever met. I didn't go up and talk to her due to me being a bad introvert, however, she was the first one to say hello. We began talking and she told me that she wouldn't date any who wasn't saved or who she wouldn't marry. So 4 months later I became saved and we started dating 3 months after that. Fast forward to 2 years later, I was going through another tough time in my life, but this time it was due to the people at church and not my own convictions. The church we were going to started preaching how God chose people before they were born on who goes to heaven or hell. I, being the level-headed person and who joined the church at a later age than most, realized that this was wrong and not what they taught new people who joined their church or new Christians. I voiced my opinion about how I believed it was wrong. Apparently that was not the right choice, as I was not only ostracized, but was also pulled aside by high-ranking people in the church saying I better shut my mouth and keep my opinions to myself if I knew what was good for me. On top of all that, they tried to split up my wife and I, who was still my girlfriend at the time, saying that I was being blasphemous and was a sinner to the worst degree. Fortunately my wife was also level-headed and would tell them to stop talking to her. Once she graduated from high, she left the church with me and we went to another church that our friends went to. I was very hesitant and walked on eggshells around this new church because of how the last one treated me. Well, not 1 month after we started this new church we found out my wife was pregnant. Knowing I couldn't provide for my wife and child on a college student's salary, I decided to join the military. We got 3 months before I left and everything went smoothly. Her parents were less than happy but pushed aside their feelings and concerns to ensure that we had an amazing wedding. After boot camp I went to my school in the military, which was 2 years long, and my wife moved in with me. I was finally away from all the church and Christian influences, and with a baby on the way I decided to find my own beliefs and happiness. I believed for 5 years that God didn't have an influence in our lives, just that He created us and let us live out our lives. It was always an awkward conversation to have with my wife, but we still loved each other very much and we were willing to work things out, not only our marriage but for our daughter's healthy life as well. Fast forward to February of this year, I had hurt myself and was diagnosed with 2 herniated discs and degenerative disc disease and was in constant pain. I was told I couldn't do my job in the military anymore and that I was probably going to be separated with the next 6 months. I decided to pray to God for not only relief from pain but to find happiness, as I had discovered that nothing in life except my family gave me happiness or joy, which put me in worst mental health situation I've ever had in my life. I heard no answer and decided that this stuff I had believed in for the majority of my life was false. I never told my wife as I thought I would destroy our marriage since the topic of religion was already a sore spot. I finally worked up the courage to tell her 1 month ago everything that I had found out and my new beliefs. At first she was silent and said she needed time to think. She told me her thoughts 2 days later and said she still loves me but isn't happy about my decision. I have fallen into a deep depression since because my injury has gotten worse to the point that I can't pick up my children. I look to my wife for comfort and love, but all I see is shame and pain when she looks at me. I don't know how much more I can take and I can't live much longer like this. My friend, 22, wonders why no women want to date him. Do women like unhygienic men? /S He doesn't brush his teeth, doesn't wipe after taking a dump, touches car tires then lick his hands. I've seen him do it. What is wrong with my friend? Oh yeah, he also refuses to get a job. His dad even took this out on me before. WTF? BC I told him he owes me $50. He does. His dad said, and I quote him, I cannot force my son to get a job or drive, does not have a license, which is okay BC, Uber but not okay BC. He has no money for Uber, no public transport in our town either. He graduated HS at 20. Tells me he doesn't wipe after using the bathroom. Shit BC, I asked for TP when I was over there. Is very selfish. I say let's go get some food if you have money for yourself. This is like 5 hours after hanging at his house. He will say I'm not hungry, always puts himself first, doesn't give a shit if his friends are hungry or not, calls our mutual friend phobic slurs. BC he is not attracted to the girls, 18 plus, my friend is into. And says don't hit on me even when no one is attracted to this. Got you. Says he wants to live at home till age 40, asks me why I have a job I want to save to move out and I travel a lot, like WTF how does he accept I buy plane tickets without a job? I swear this guy might have been coddled. Been friends for 4 years. He started acting this way in 2021. Ask why my pants are so tight. They're not fucking tight, he is just an uncultured swine. Unlike him I prefer slim fitted, I usually dress nice. His jeans are all torn up and baggy. Probs BC he refuses to get a job. I'm just sick of his comments towards me too. Says I'm a 3. Constantly rates me when I'm not even asking him to. I want to give this friendship a try but I'm kinda over it. What would yo Udo? The bathroom issue came up BC when I went over, asked for TP, he refused to get it and I asked him why there was shit and water all over the floor. I know shoes, bottom of them, are dirty but WTF, am I at a nickelly risk now? BC my shoes have human shit on them? My ex got her birth control taken out and didn't tell me until she was a month pregnant. Me, 28M. And my ex 36F were together for about 4 years and some change. After the first month she gets an IUD in. Now I'm not fully knowledgeable about birth control and stuff like that, but she told me it would last 5 years until it needed to be replaced. Needless to say that meant condoms weren't an issue. Fast forward to last month when we're at the store buying stuff for lunch. She mentions that she's feeling a little sick and she wants to get a pregnancy test. Me being the idiot that I am just laughs thinking she's joking about, but turns out she wasn't. I asked how she could be pregnant and she revealed that she got her IUD taken out the month prior and didn't tell me. She takes the test and surprise surprise she's pregnant. I asked if we should take another test just to be sure, but she tells me this is her 4th test in 2 days and all of them said pregnant. Now I'm not opposed to being a father, but when we started talking about either moving into my apartment or hers, she brings up her nephew moving in with us too. She has a younger brother, I think he's like 32, but never bothered to ask, and this guy's a mess and a half. He's had 2 sons that he ditched off on his mom, and my ex's mom has been raising them. I have no ill will towards the kid or anything, but I also don't have any love for him either. She isn't really around him enough for me to have that connection to him, but she considers him her son now. She got upset and told me I'm not fit to be a father if I can't take of her son as well. I get that pregnancy hormones are a thing and all that, but now she's blocked me on everything, phone, Facebook, etc., and what to do. I want to be part of my kid's life whether or not me and her are together. It's a real rock and a hard place scenario for me.